Hey guys, welcome back. Today's sequence is targeted to really stretch out the hamstrings. It's really good for runners because we'll be doing lots of hip openers as well, lots of opening across the front of the shoulder, and like a little bit of core to keep the pelvic area really stable. So if you're a runner or if you have sore legs, this sequence will be really good for you. You can use 2 blocks, they'll be really handy, or just 1 block. Yeah, they'll help in some of the stretching poses that we do. When you've got everything you need, come to a comfortable seat and close your eyes. Turn your attention to the sensation of your breath. Relaxing your jaw and your shoulders. Keeping the lift in your chest. Taking this moment to check in with your body, with your mind, and your breath. And just accepting wherever you are today, without judgment, without expectation. Being present in the moment. And then rooting your sacrum down into the mat, lifting through the crown of your head, keeping your shoulders lifted but relaxed. Take your hands in front of your chest. Touch your thumbs to your heart. Namaste. Welcome. Okay, we're going to start on our backs, taking eye of the needle pose, crossing your right ankle over your left knee, and then threading your hands through the gap, taking a hold of your left shin or your left hamstring, and gently pulling your legs towards you, but energetically sending your right knee away from you. So we're getting into the outer right hip. Keeping your hips on the floor if you can, shoulders relaxed on the floor, head relaxed on the floor. And then release your left leg flat to the mat. Take your right leg up to the sky and interlace your hands behind your right hamstring. And then stretch up through the big toe side of your foot, stretching all along the inner leg. Your outer left hip is grounding down, keeping your hips square on the mat. Inhale. Exhale, lift your left leg, lift your head and shoulders off the mat and reach to the front. Keep stretching through the inner left leg of the right and the inner left leg of the left. We're sending the energy through the big toe side, keeping your shoulder blades lifted. Switch your legs. Keep reaching through the inner thigh, firming your lower back into the mat. Switch them back. Head and shoulders to the mat, left leg to the mat. Hug your right knee into your chest and pull it towards your right shoulder. Pulling your right knee out, down and in, and holding it there. Shoulders relaxed on the mat. Hips square on the mat. Pull your right knee towards your right shoulder. And change. Bend your knees again. Take your left ankle over your right knee. And then thread your hands through. Eye of the needle pose on the second side. Taking your hands to your right hamstring or your right shin, whatever feels good for you. Feeling the stretch in the outer left hip. Pulling your legs towards you. Sending your left knee away from you. Take your right leg straight onto the mat, left leg up to the sky. Sending the energy through the inner leg, through the big toe side of your toe pad, pulling your toes towards you, waking up the nerves as well. Inhale here. Exhale, lift your right leg and head and shoulders off the mat. Reaching through the inner sides of both legs, through the big toe side of your foot. Keep reaching, reach your hands to the front. Shoulder blades lifted off the mat. Lower back firming into the mat. Switch your legs. Keep hovering, keep reaching. Pull your belly button in, switch them back. Bend your left knee into your chest, relax to the floor. Pull your left knee towards your left shoulder. Out, down, and then back in. Try and touch your left knee to your left shoulder. Outer right hip grounding down to the mat, so both hip bones square. Resting on the mat, shoulders resting on the mat, and pulling your left knee towards your left shoulder. And change. Take both legs out to the mat, take them nice and wide. Reach your arms out, arms overhead, shoulder width, and stretch your whole body here. Stretch your arms up, stretch your legs down. And then take your feet together, hands together, hook your thumbs and stretch here again. And then bend your knees, start to rock and roll. Coming all the way through to hands and knees. And then pushing back, downward facing dog. Spread your fingers, spread your hands, and down dog. Push through the index finger knuckle, the first index finger knuckle. And then send your chest towards your thighs. And then walk out. Bend your left knee to really open up the right leg. Keep pushing away with your hands. Bend your right knee, opening up the back of the left leg. And again, go back to the first side. Pulling down through your heel. Bend your right knee. And then straighten both legs. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, step it forwards. Drop your left knee down. Come up to a low lunge. So if you are a runner, you might find that the front of your thighs and your hip flexors also are quite tight. So this is a really nice stretch. Opening up your left hip flexors. Pull your right heel back so you're scissoring into the midline. So we're not collapsing all the way down. We want to stay up in the center, but pull the right leg back. Naturally, the left hip will move forwards and you feel a more intense stretch. Broaden through the collarbones so your shoulders are relaxed and away from the neck, away from the ears. Take your hands down to the mat and shift your weight back to your left knee. You can walk it back if you have to. And pull your toes up, flexing the foot. Hands to the mat. If you can't take your hands to the mat, this is where your blocks come in handy. Just gently warming up the hamstring. Keep flexing the foot. Again, pushing through the big toe side of your toe pad. So lengthening through the inner right leg. Keeping the length in the spine. Bend your front leg. Downward dog. See if you notice a change between your legs. And then inhale, lift your left leg up. Step your left leg forwards, low lunge on the second side. Inhale as you rise up. This time we pull the left heel back and naturally the right hip comes forwards. Keep grounding down through all four corners of your left foot. Squeezing it back, hugging everything into the midline. Keep the length in your side bodies, broaden through the collarbones. Stretching out your right hip flexors. Take your hands to the mat. Shift your right knee back if you have to and come to half Hanumanasana, half splits pose. Taking your blocks if you need them. Feeling the stretch across the back of the left leg. Sending the energy, reaching through the big toe side, your inner left leg. Lengthening your spine, so you're reaching through the crown of your head. You're still pulling your left heel back, still squeezing everything into the center line. Bend your front knee, downward dog. Push into the mat with your hands and pull down through your inner heels. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step your left foot forwards, step your right foot forwards. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Allowing your head to hang, your body to hang, but pressing down through the inner heels and lifting your two sit bones up. So your inner heels almost pulling away from each other as your two sit bones reaching up. Inhale halfway and exhale fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, coming to stork pose. Bring your arms over your head. Shift the weight into your right leg. Firm your right thigh, your right glute, and then lift your left leg. So we want to use our core muscles here. So tailbone is slightly scooped under to really engage the lower abdominal muscles. This will help, if you are a runner, this will help stabilize your pelvis. Well, in general, but also while you run. So we really want to use our core rather than our hip flexors. And don't let your left leg touch the mat. Step it all the way back for high lunge. Pull your right heel back. Keep your left leg lifting you up, so your left muscles are engaged, and then you're pulling your heel back. Keeping the pelvis nice and neutral in the center. Inhale. Exhale, cactus your arms. Bend your elbows. Squeeze through the back of your shoulder blades, opening up across the front of the chest. Keep the energy in your legs. Keep pulling your right heel back, squeezing everything into the midline. Inhale, take your arms up. Bring your arms down beside your body and float your body forwards for arrowhead. So reaching through the crown of your head, draw your shoulders down and away from your ears. Lengthening your spine from the sacrum all the way to the crown of the head. Lengthening your left leg. Left leg is still lifting you up. We're not collapsing into the right leg. Inhale here. Exhale, take your fingertips to the mat. Coming to lunge on fingertips. So if you need your blocks, take your blocks. And then we're going to come to a long stance pyramid where we just straighten the front leg. Back heel can stay lifted, but really try to straighten the front leg. Pulling the right thigh back still. Stretching out the right hamstring, the back of the right leg. Breathing through the stretch. Take a full breath in. Exhale, let it out. Bending your front knee, spin your left heel down, and then inhale, rise to warrior one. Squeezing the legs into the midline. Keep pulling your right heel back. Left foot is at 45 degrees. And then pulling your right heel back. Naturally, the left hip comes forwards and then bending into your front knee. Broadening through the collarbones, keep the shoulders away from the ear. And then take your hands to your hips. Step your left foot in a little bit so your feet are about 1 meter apart. Straighten your front leg, come into Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Engage your right quadricep muscles, micro bend in the front leg, and you're pulling your heel back. So we're not jamming into the joint, we're protecting the joint with all the muscles around the joint engaged. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend from the hips. Coming down to wherever you can go without losing the lengthening in your spine. So we don't want to have a flex spine. We want to keep the spine extended and lengthening. If you want to grab your blocks, grab your blocks. Or you can keep your hands on your hips and work the strength in the legs. Keep drawing your shoulder blades down and back. And then, whether your hands are on your block or your hands are on your hips, reach your arms forwards. Keep pulling your right heel back. Reach your arms forwards. Reach through the crown of your head. Keep breathing. And then take your hands down to the mat. Bend your leg. Downward facing dog. Take your right leg up to the sky. And then bend your right knee and open up your hips. So we really want to reach the right toes over to the left side. Reaching the right knee up. And push through the right hand. So your both shoulders are active. We're not collapsing onto one side. Just opening up the hips here. And then come back to three-legged dog. Square off the hips. So you're strong in your left leg. Come up high onto the ball of your left foot. Exhale, step your right foot forwards and push up into standing splits. Again, taking your block if you like it. Keeping the length in your spine. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. And then reach the left leg back and then up. Reaching through the crown of the head. Folding over your right leg to whatever distance you're going. Inhale, lengthen, find more length. Exhale, fold. Inhale here, exhale, step your left foot to meet your right. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise and coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, second side. Shifting the weight into your left leg, coming to stork on the second side. Firm your left leg muscles. Lift your right leg up. Feel your lower abdomen engage. Tailbone is tucked, so we're using the core muscles to keep the leg lifted. Arms overhead, shoulders away from ears. And then without letting your right leg touch the mat, step your right leg back for crescent lunge, high lunge. Right leg is lifting us up, and then we sink down into the left leg, but keeping that lift. Hugging everything into the midline, pulling the left heel back. Equal weight distribution in both feet. So right leg is active, left leg is active. Everything is squeezing into the midlines. Inhale here. Exhale, cactus the arms. Open up the chest. Squeeze from the back of your shoulder blades. Keep squeezing, squeeze one more time. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your arms down beside you. And then reach forwards. Arrowhead. Reach through the crown of your head. Draw your shoulder blades down and back. Your fingertips are energized and they're reaching back. Meanwhile, your head's reaching forwards. Your right leg is lifting you up. And your left leg is strong. Push down through all four corners. Inhale one more time. Exhale, take your hands to the mat, coming to a lunge on fingertips. Little bit of a pause. Coming to a long stance pyramid, we're just going to straighten the left leg. Pull the left heel back. Feel your hips square off. Your right hip edging forwards. Keep the engagement in the left quadricep muscles. And take your blocks if you want. Bend into your front knee. Spin your right heel down. And inhale, rise to warrior one. Squeezing the legs into the midline. So naturally your hips will square off to the front. Broaden through the collarbones, shoulders away from the ears, but keep that lift in your spine, in your chest. And then straighten your left leg, bring your right foot in a little bit for pyramid pose. Engage the quadricep muscles in your left leg, micro bend in your left leg, and continuously keep pulling your left heel back. Take your hands to your hips, lengthen, inhale, exhale, fold from the hips. Keep the length in your spine. Keep pulling your left heel back, just keep the hips square. So this tends to happen sometimes, so if we just pull and put more weight into the front leg and pulling the leg back, naturally the hips will square off. So you can take your hands to your blocks or you can keep your hands on your hips. Hands on blocks or hands on hips, reach the arms forwards. Reach through the crown of your head. Keep the length in the spine. Reach through your arms. Keep the engagement in the left leg. Don't lose that engagement. Don't lose that scissoring sensation. And then bend your left leg. Step back. Downward facing dog. Take your left leg up to the sky. And then open up your hips, bending your left knee. Push down firmly with your hands. Both hands equal pressure. Staying active in the upper back. Reaching the left toes over towards the right. Left knee reaching up. And then square off your hips. Come up high onto the ball of your right foot. And then step your left leg forwards. Push up into standing splits. Reaching your right leg back and then up. Keeping the length in your spine. Reach it back. Firm down through the four corners of your left foot. Feel all these posterior muscles engage. So the muscles are active and getting a nice stretch. Reach the right leg back and up one more time. Exhale, bring your right leg to meet your left. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Take your feet hip width distance. Grab your opposite elbows for ragdoll. Change the grip. And release your hands to the mat. Next, inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, coming to balance on our toes. Take your feet about hip width distance and find one point, your drishti, to concentrate and look on. And then come up high onto your toes. So here we're strengthening the ankle joint. All the tiny little muscles around the ankle and the heel. Really good to test our balance. And it's okay if you fall or if you wobble. And then keeping your toes lifted. Take your arms overhead and bend your knees. Try and keep your heels lifted. I realize I just said keep your toes lifted. I meant heels. And sit down Utkatasana on your toes, strengthening both sides of the quads. Strengthening your inner quad muscles, your outer quad muscles, keeping your heels lifted as high as you can, leaning your upper body back, spine straight. Keep your heels up, knees up, and your upper body leaning back. If your legs are shaking, that's good. It means they're working hard. Really good for stabilizing the knee joint, stabilizing the ankle joint. Inhale, rise up, hands to your heart. Heels down. Check your feet a hip width distance and parallel. Inhale, bring your arms up, sit down, Utkatasana chair. Keeping the same distance between your feet and your knees. So using your glute muscles here. Using your quad muscles, and then sit your hips down. Take your hands to your chest and twist over to the right. Left elbow, right knee. And then you want to push your hands, push your hands together and then squeeze your core. So twisting from the core, but using your hands to help you. Turn and twist your upper body up towards the sky. And if you can, sit your hips down a little bit lower. Keep pushing your elbow into your knee to twist. Reach to the crown of the head. Keep the length in the spine. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. So those two poses are really good for stabilizing the knee joint. Especially women and women with wider hips. We tend to underuse the VMO, which is the quadricep muscles on the inner thigh. So it often takes a lot of extra work to get those to fire up and help stabilize the knee. Okay, inhale, take your right leg up to the sky. Come up high onto the ball of your left foot. Exhale, step your right leg forwards. Spin your left heel down. Inhale, rise up. So, pyramid legs again. We're going to come to a revolved pyramid pose. Take your right hand down to your hip. Keep your left hand reaching up. Engage the leg muscles in your right leg. Pull your right heel back. Hips are nice and square. And then reach forwards. Come down halfway first. Reaching the left arm forwards. Pulling your left heel back. And then taking your left hand down outside your right foot if you can. Or inside, and then twisting over to the right. Twist from your body, and then naturally your hands will reach up towards the sky. Keep the engagement in the front leg. Both hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. Take your right leg up to the sky. Come up high onto the ball of your left foot. Exhale, step your right foot forwards. Push up. Standing splits again. Find your balance here. Stay in your standing split, so this time you have the option to open up to Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Taking your right thumb 6 inches in front of your right little toe, or to a block. I like to use the block because it gives me a bit more space to turn. Left hand to your hip, and then start to open out your hips. Start to open out your hips like we did in downward facing dog. So now both hip points are facing the camera. Finding your balance here, and then turning your head, turning your chest. Taking your left arm up to the sky. Reaching through your left heel. Left heel's reaching back, left arm's reaching up, turning the hips. And then bring both hands to the mat, step back. Low lunge, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew, notice the difference between your legs. Walk your legs out if you want to. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step your right foot forwards, step your left foot forwards. Inhale halfway, and exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, second side. Find your drishti, find something to concentrate on. And lift your heels, maximum, as high as you can. This is not my first practice today. I'm a little shaky. Strengthening your ankle joints. Using your core muscles here. And bring your arms up over your head, coming to Utkatasana on our toes. Keep the heels lifted and bend the knees. If you fall, get right back up. If your heels drop, get right back up. Keep your heels up, knees up, and your upper body reaching back. Spine is straight. Feel all your quadricep muscles engaging here. Stabilizing your knee joint. Heels up, knees up, upper body leaning back. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Take your feet hip width distance. It is a little bit easier with feet together. You can give it a go. You can try both variations. I'm going to keep my feet hip width distance. Inhale, come up to Utkatasana. Chair pose. Sit your hips down. Lean your upper body back. Pull your heels to the back of the mat so you see all 10 toes in front of your knees. Take your hands in front of your heart and twist over to your left. Right elbow, left knee. Keep your hips sitting down. Push your hands together and then turn from your body, turning up towards the sky. Make sure your right knee doesn't edge forwards. You want to keep your hips square. Just glance down at your knees. Make sure they're in one line. And then turn and twist a little bit more, turning towards the sky. Inhale here, and exhale, fold. Halfway lengthen, inhale. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Take your left leg up to the sky. Come up high onto the ball of your right foot. Exhale, step your left foot forwards. Step your right foot in a little bit, spin your right heel down. Inhale, come up. So, Parsvottanasana, pyramid legs. Pull your left heel back, engage your left quadricep muscles. Step your foot in about 1 meter or longer. Square your hips up. Micro bend in the left knee. Take your hands to your hips. Right arm reaches up this time. And then bend at the hips. Keep the spine straight. Keep reaching the right arm forwards. And then taking your right hand down to the mat. Or if you can, right arm outside of the left foot. and turn and twist. You can use your blocks here, of course. You will have a little bit more space to turn. Go with your body. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Turn and twist. Exhale, come down. Downward facing dog. Take your left leg up to the sky. Inhale here. Exhale, step your left foot forwards. Push up. Standing splits. Working that standing leg. Pushing down, but lifting up. Feel the whole posterior chain light up to stabilize you. Staying in your standing splits or taking Ardha Chandrasana half moon pose. Left hand on a block, few inches in front of your left little toe. Take your right hand to your hip. Slowly start to turn your hips, your shoulders, your chest, reaching your right arm up to the sky. And then take both hands to your mat. Step back. Low lunge. Downward facing dog. Three full breaths here. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step, walk or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale halfway, and exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Coming to a balancing pose, standing bow pulling pose, shifting the weight into your right leg. We're going to balance on the right leg. Turn your left palm out. Palm facing up. And then catch your left ankle from the inside. Catch the ankle, you'll have a lot more leverage to push into. If you catch the foot, you have a little less leverage. So you want to catch the ankle. Hug your knees together. See if you can get your knees to touch. Bring your right arm up, right chin close to the right shoulder, and then start to kick your left leg back, reaching your right arm forwards. Continuously kicking your left leg back, stretching your right arm forwards. Locking your right leg, thigh muscles active, bring your body down. Stretch your arm more forwards. Kick your left leg back. Opening up the shoulders, opening up the hips, opening up the thighs. Inhale, come back. Bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step the left leg back, drop the left knee down, coming to a lizard lunge. Walk your right foot out to the edge of your mat. Toes out wider than your heel, and letting your right knee drop out to the right, opening up the inner thigh, groin area. You can stay on your forearms here. If that's enough for you, go with your body, or you can come down, stay on your hands, or you can come down to your forearms. Finding a nice relaxing point in this pose. So staying on your hands, staying on your forearms is fine, as long as it feels good. And keeping the legs as they are, just come back up onto your hands. Reach your right arm up to the sky, and then reach your right arm behind you. If you can, bend your left foot, And pull your left heel towards your left butt cheek. Pretzel pose. If you need a strap or a towel, you can grab a towel and put it around your foot and hold the towel and pull your left foot towards your hip. And then you turn and twist your upper body to the sky. Gently releasing the foot. Just pivoting on your heel, toes now facing the other corner of the mat. We're coming to Skandasana, ninja squat pose. Opening up the hips here. Lifting the left heel up. Now there are options. You can have the heel lifted. Trying to pull the heel down. Really stretching out the back of the Achilles. Getting more mobility in your ankle and stretching out your calf. Keep your left leg active. You might feel a stretch along the inner thigh. That's not normal. Inhale here. Exhale, place your hands down and rise up. Coming to Prasarita Padottanasana, standing wide-legged forward fold. And finding a little softness here, but keeping the leg muscles active and engaged. Taking your legs as wide as is comfortable. Firming down through the inner heels, feeling the back of your pelvis open. Again, remember that lengthening through the spine, reaching through the crown of the head, stretching the spine from the sacrum. And then walking your hands back towards your right foot. Turning your right foot. Lunge on fingertips. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step, walk, or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Samastitihi, hands to your heart. Standing bow on the second side, turn your right palm out. Firm your left leg muscles. Take hold of your right inner ankle. And then hug your knees together. Get your left leg locked. Allow your right shoulder to go back. Lift your left arm. Left shoulder close to your chin. And then start to kick your right leg back. Concentrate on one point that doesn't move to help find your balance. Stretch your left arm forwards, but kick your right leg back. Keep kicking your right leg back. The strength in this pose comes from the kicking. Opening up across the shoulders. Feel your right shoulder reaching back, your left shoulder reaching forwards. Feel the opening across your right hip flexors, your right thighs. Feel your left leg squeezing tight, keeping your left leg locked. Kick your leg back more. Stretch your arm forwards more. Kick back. Inhale, come back up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step the right leg back. Drop the right knee down. This time, walk your left leg out to the edge of your mat. Toes wider than your heel. Allow your left knee to drop out towards the left. Staying with your hands, if that feels good, if that's enough for you, or coming down onto your elbows. But keeping that lightness and keeping that lift, without dumping into your elbows, you want to keep that nice length and lift. When I've done a lot of running and not as much yoga, I definitely do feel tighter on my inner thighs. So this is a really yummy one. It also stretches out the back leg, hip flexor. Coming up onto your hands, if you're on your elbows, reach your left arm up to the sky. And then reach your left arm back. Bend your right knee, take your strap or towel if you need, and pull your right foot towards your right butt cheek. Turn and twist up to the sky. Keeping shoulders away from ears. Slowly release. Turn your left foot in, pivot on the heel. Come into Skandasana on the second side. To get a different perspective this time. Trying to get your left heel down. If you're high up, that's okay. You can use your hands. Usually I am, but like I said, I've done this already today. And you want to try and sink your heel down to the mat. So by shifting your weight backwards, you can use that. Use your hands, it's okay. And then keeping your right foot flexed, right leg engaged. Feeling the stretch across the Achilles. And then the ankle joint. Inhale here. Exhale, place your hands in front of you. Shift the weight into your hands and push up for wide-legged forward fold. Remembering the length in your spine. Finding the softness, but still reaching, still lengthening. Pushing down through your inner heels. And then take your hands to the mat, walk your hands forwards, coming to lunge on fingertips. Downward facing dog. Take your feet nice and wide in your down dog, hands nice and wide. Monster dog. Take your feet back, hip width distance. Lift your heels, walk your feet to the top of the mat. Walk your feet out as wide as the mat, toes wider than heels. And coming down to Malasana, yogi squat. Elbows into your elbows, pushing your knees, elbows into your knees, pushing your knees out, taking your hands to your heart. This is really intense. Grab your blocks. You can sit on your blocks. If it's still too much, you come up and you take your feet wider, almost into a kind of goddess pose squat. And you just work on wherever you are to work on opening up the hips in this way. And then finding your way into a comfortable seat. Coming to Virasana, so blocks might be handy here as well. Sitting between your heels, feet pointing backwards. You can roll your calf muscles up from underneath if you need to. So your hips are between your heels. Your feet are pointing backwards. If this is too much, then you sit on a block and you can lean back from here. If Virasana is super comfy for you, we can take Supta Virasana, reclined hero pose, by taking your hands to your feet, slowly with the help of your elbows, lowering back. If you're sitting on a block, please don't go all the way back. Just lean back far enough so you feel the opening in your hips, knees, and quads. If there's any knee pain, you open your knees as much as you need to. There should be no sharp shooting pain. Lower all the way down. Shoulders touch, head touches. And you can reach your arms overhead. Don't allow your knees to fly up off the floor. We want to keep reaching the knees down, even if your knees are apart. Feel the stretch across the top of the thighs. Find the softness in this pose. And then if you've reclined, take your hands to your feet and using the hump of your elbows, slowly push yourself back up. Lift yourself up off the mat. Walk to the back of your mat to take child's pose. Sending your arms, keeping your knees together, sending your arms behind you. And then coming back up. Cross your legs behind you. Come to sitting. Taking Janu Shirshasana, sole of the left foot inside of the right leg. Right leg out, straight in front. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, fold. Taking your both hands to your shin, or taking your right hand out to the side, and you'll get more of a lower spine stretch here if you take your right hand down to the side and twist and then fold over your right leg. You can even take your left hand to the outer edge of your right foot. Pushing through the big toe side of your toe pad, lengthening through the inner leg. Inhale, you lengthen, and then exhale, you lengthen and fold. And release. Changing sides, left leg forwards, right sole into the left inner thigh. Inhale, exhale, fold. Left fingertips to the side if you like, to turn and fold over your left leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold, reaching forwards and down. And release. Stretch your legs out. Coming down onto your back for 2 rounds of bridge. So take your ankles underneath your knee joints. Roll your shoulders underneath your body and just everybody come to robot arms. So your elbows are bent so you can push into the mat with your elbows. Inhale and squeeze your legs up, squeeze your hips up, pushing down into your feet. And then you can even roll your shoulders under one by one and really push your hips up high. You can keep your robot arms or interlace your hands underneath your body, rolling your shoulders underneath your body more, lifting your chest, lifting your hips. So squeezing your glutes. Concentric contractions now after all the lengthening. And release. Take your hands to your knees and just rock side to side. And prepare for second set. Ankles underneath your knees. Robot arms. And then push your hips up, squeezing. Putting your body weight into your heels and squeezing your hips up to the sky. Trying to keep your knees and feet parallel. So we're using both sides of your thigh muscles, both VMO and the outer quad muscles. Then roll your shoulders under, lift your chest. And come down. Take Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, butterfly style legs. And close your knees together. Take your legs up to the sky. Hands behind your head. A little bit of core, as I promised. Head and shoulders lift up off the mat. Take your left leg down and cross your right elbow over to the right. Your left elbow over to the right. Inhale, center, left leg up. Right leg down. Right elbow, left thigh. Inhale, center. Exhale, down. Keep your legs lifted. We're just going to do 4 more. Head and shoulders lift up. Left leg down. Center. Right leg down. Twist. Center. Exhale to the mat. Inhale, lift. Left leg down. Center. Right leg down. Stay with me. Keep your shoulder blades lifted. Center. Exhale, down. I've done a lot of this. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders off the mat. Left leg down. Reach. Center. Oh my goodness. Right leg down. Center. Exhale, head and shoulders to the mat. Oh, 1 more. Okay. Inhale, lift. Left leg down, twist over to the right. Center. Right leg down, twist. Center. Oh, and release. Hopefully you did better than I did. Whew. Okay, take your soles of the feet to the mat. Taking reclined pigeon, the eye of the needle pose we did at the beginning, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, left knee. Thread your hands through. And pull your knees towards you, but giving resistance, so energetically sending your right knee away from you. And change. Left leg over, left ankle on right knee. Thread your hands through, grab your hamstring or your shin. Pull your knees towards you, sending your left knee away from you. Take the soles of the feet to the mat. Cross your right leg over your left. And shift your hips over to the right and drop your knees over to the left. Keeping your right shoulder close to the floor. Looking over your right shoulder. Spine twist. Bringing them back to center. Uncross the legs, change the cross of the legs. Drop your knees over to your right. Looking over your left shoulder. Coming back to center. Uncross the legs, hug both legs into your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. Touch your forehead to your knees. Hug yourself into a little ball. And release. Shavasana. Take your legs out. Arms down by your side. As you exhale, let go. Relaxing your toes. Relaxing your feet. Relax your ankles, your calf muscles, your knees, Relax your whole legs. Relax your hips. Relax your abdomen, your chest, your shoulders. Relax your arms, your elbows, your wrists. Relax your fingers. Relax your neck. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue. Relax your face, your head, your whole body. Feel your whole body heavy on your mat, rooting yourself back down to the earth. Start to deepen your breath. Wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. Bringing awareness back to your body. And on your next inhale, reach your arms overhead. Interlace your fingers and give yourself a nice big stretch. And then bending your knees, rolling over onto one side. Using your arm as a pillow. And slowly, keeping your eyes closed, push yourself back up to a comfortable seat. And taking your hands together in front of your heart center. Taking a moment here to check in with your body, your mind, and your breath again. Noticing any changes. And then take a moment to appreciate yourself for your efforts in your practice. Carrying forward any positives and letting go of any negatives. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. Namaste.